What's up, everybody? Wednesday morning. Welcome to this edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Hope everybody had a phenomenal day yesterday as we saw an interesting day in the markets and something fun to talk about today with a rally up in the S&P. But was it really a tradable rally? We'll get into that in a few minutes. If you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get the alerts, the updates, all that fun stuff. But do me a favor, leave a comment down below. Leave a comment down below. What do you think we are going to do for the rest of this week? What is the chart telling you that we're going to do for the rest of the week? I'd love to hear what you have to say. Leave a comment. Okay, let's go ahead and get started first with the S&P. We are down 5 points this morning. Yesterday we were up a couple of hundred points. Matter of fact, yesterday we finished up 422 points in the Dow and 350 points in the Nasdaq, and up 69 points in the S&P. So we had really big moves up yesterday. A 1.5% move up in the S&P, 2.5% move up in the Dow. In the Nasdaq. But were those tradable rallies? And my answer is not really. And the reason for that is that we moved last night on this. No, I say last night, 2 nights ago, on this big rally up, right? We had this really big candlestick, this speed candle, if you will, that was really the catalyst of yesterday's movement. But one of the things that we talked about yesterday was the fact that if I move to a 4-hour chart, we were still, even though we had that big move up, we were still very much in a downtrend. So the temptation, I think, by a lot of people yesterday was to get long. And to be a buyer very early in the day, and the market just didn't support that. It didn't support it because we didn't really have quality areas of demand to get long. We didn't have a true breakout trade. There was really no opportunity. Now, what about getting short? Well, there was no opportunity to get short because we didn't have a really good supply level for price to fall out of. So one of the things that we talked about in yesterday's live trade room, and if you don't join our live trade rooms, you don't know what you're missing. Go to tradersarmy.com so that you can learn more about joining us. But we talked about the fact that that you don't have to trade every day. And yesterday was a great day to not touch the S&P, the Nasdaq. I mean, they were really tough sledding yesterday when you look at those individual markets. Now, looking at a 15-minute chart, what do we have going on for today? Well, I like a breakdown trade. I like a breakdown of this region right in here. Now, the only way I can really get long in this bearish market environment would be, we did have a supply level right here. Now, that supply level, we touched it once, moved away, hit it again, moved away. Now, that could have been a breakout trade. I will say that I was not awake when this breakout occurred, if you were looking at this as a potential breakout, and it has since sold off. You could theoretically get a breakout above this region now that we've got 2 touches. That's really the only way in my mind to get long, but I'm not trading anything in between these levels today. I just don't really see a lot of great tradable opportunities between these levels. If you're much more aggressive, you can look to get short below the Globex low, but in reality, these 2 areas are where my price is constrained. I'm not going to force something. I'm not going to force something that's not there. In the Nasdaq, we have a very similar picture. We did have a bigger move up yesterday in the Nasdaq than we did in the other markets, but still, after the move up, we just kind of didn't do anything. Now, we have continued to rally up a little bit. So if I go to a 15-minute chart of the Nasdaq, I do have a slightly better, more bullish picture for a move higher, but that slightly better, more bullish picture would be because we finally we did break above this region here. Now, if you want to get long, I think that you get long on a breakout above where we are right now. The tightest your stop can be, in my mind, would be below probably this candlestick right here. That's the absolute tightest your stop could be, would be below that Globex low, which was the origin of this move up at right around the London Open. I don't think it's a great setup, frankly. But if you're just dying to trade, I think that you may have something there. The Russell yesterday, we did have a little bit of a rally up. in a potential for a confirmation short, but the confirmation short level that we looked at, we traded through that level before really giving us an entry. Um, and so that was actually the one that was probably the most bullish yesterday. Was that, the most tradable after the big move up was the Russell. So in looking at that, going to a 15-minute chart, we are coming close to this big, strong move down right here, where I think would be our next potential reversal point. So I'm going to remove the level here up above and put this in a 15-minute color. Now, our 4-hour in the Russell, interestingly enough, is a higher swing high, higher swing low picture. So the Russell actually is in an upward trend, whereas the other markets are in a bit of a downward trend. The Russell just got beaten down so hard that nobody noticed that it started a bit of an upward trend. And then the Dow Jones also, we saw a very similar picture to the other markets. The big move up right through here on the speed candle, and then we've hit what was a little supply area, um, but not a great area to trade. So I just don't feel like there's a whole lot in the equity markets today, and there's no law that says you have to trade. Just keep that in mind. Looking at crude oil, energies, metals, crude oil, and gold, we did come back to a confirmation long level yesterday. So yesterday we traded very close to this level on top of level. We then traded into the area, which is a confirmation long, and we've rallied up out of that zone. Now, if you're still in this trade, there's no reason not to still be in it. Your stop should be at break even at this point, but it has rallied up about $1.50 off of this level. And so at this point, if you're still in the trade, take your stop, move it to break even, because you have gotten a little bit of a move away. And 6 candles later, we were kind of hovering around the entry point, but it is still running up from that zone. If you didn't get in and you want to give it another shot, look at the 15-minute chart, and sliding down to the 15, what do I have? Well, I'm looking for quality demand below me. Not the best. Really not the best. So I don't really have a great entry below me, but you could have a breakout above this 93.33 for price to continue to move a bit higher. Looking at our gold markets before we slide over to our cryptos and our currencies. Gold, I did have a potential for a reversal on a 15-minute chart right here, identified yesterday in the live trade room, where we had a drop, a little bit of base, and a pretty nice drop. We poked through it, thus making the level invalid, dropped back down. Then we based around that area, and we're starting to move a bit higher. Now, I think you've got a bit of clean air above 1861, provided we get enough basing. So I think I'd be okay with a breakout long above there, but you got to get basing on that 15-minute chart. In our cryptos, also Bitcoin looks a little bit like the S&P. We're still below the breakout trade point. We have this gap fill area down here that's not been traded into, and then this was the origin of a pretty strong move right down in here that happened last night and still, or 2 nights ago, and still no big trade yet off of that level. And then Ether, we had a couple of supply areas up above us that just got cut through, and so that was not truly observing what I would anticipate to be market behavior as we cut through some supply zones. And so look for a potential breakout of this triangle pattern, with price probably rallying higher from this region. If that triangle pattern doesn't get you the breakout, if you break out the other direction, I don't know that I would take a short. I might take a long off of here. Our 4-hour on Ether is slightly more bullish, since we got a little higher than this swing high. The best case scenario would be a breakout to the upside from this point. Taking a look real quick at the euro, we looked at the euro yesterday, and we had looked at the fact that and said, well, if you've got any opportunity for a short, you may get a breakdown below here. But then we sold off really, really hard, no basing to not, and that essentially negated the breakout entry, right? Remember, I've got to have all of my rules in place, negating the breakout entry, came to our area of supply, the 15-minute supply zone, and has gotten a little bit of a move away, but 6 candles later, it's gone basically nowhere. Now, on a 4-hour chart, that tells me on a 4-hour chart, we're still in a downtrend, right? So that was an opportunity to get short was right here, but it's not really moving. So that usually means that we can see a bit of a small bottoming pattern with price with having the ability to trade a bit higher. And so if we get above this swing high, look for a pullback to a potential demand area trade. And I would look at this area here for demand. But not if we don't get above that swing high. You got to get above that swing high first. All right. That's about all I have really of any consequence today. Japanese yen has bounced off of a pretty decent area of demand. Speed candles, remember, do tend to get retraced, but it bounced off of it and then it just went. It kind of just stalled out on us. So move your stop to break even if you took that long because you're 6 candles in and it's gone essentially nowhere. So you can certainly look at here for a breakdown going forward. So, all right, everybody, well, that's all I have for today. If you guys have any questions, send us an email, support@tradersarmy.com. I appreciate you guys joining me today. Like and share this video with others. Spread the word, spread the love. I'll see you.
Hey, thanks for joining us. If you like what we do, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's the only way the computers know that you're actually alive and really care. And go to tradersarmy.com today to learn a bit more. And if you want to see some of our other videos, click here in the box.